So one way of implementing prefetching is to just add prefetch instructions to the instruction set and let the compiler or the programmer figure out when to request prefetches. So let's say we have a program that adds up the elements of a large array into a sum. This program will access these elements one at a time. So it has a lot of spatial locality, not much temporal locality, and it will have a lot of misses. With prefetching instructions, this program will become something like this. We still have the original program, but in this loop, in addition to accessing the appropriate element of the array in an iteration, we will be prefetching an element that we will access in the future. pdist here should be at least 1, so that we are prefetching the next element, but you might want to prefetch the next, or even more advanced elements. So here, one of the trickier questions is what should be the pdist? How far in advance to prefetch? If pdist is too small, for example, if it's only 1, we end up having something like this. Our access is here. We issue our prefetch in the previous iteration for this element. The memory latency might be this, which means that when we do our access, the data still hasn't arrived from memory. We will still have to wait for it, although we will have to wait for it less than if there was no prefetch. So here we prefetch too late, and the access happens before the data arrives from memory, so we still have a miss, although it's a slightly less expensive one in terms of how long we have to wait. However, if pdist is too large, let's say that the access is here, and we prefetch this element way ahead of time, it arrives from memory here, sits in the cache, and because other elements are being accessed in this loop all the time, this might be eventually kicked out. And in this case, we say that we have prefetched too early. So as you can see, it is not easy to guess how far in advance to prefetch. Furthermore, if you're writing a program and changing it to do prefetching, it might be that in one generation of hardware, the correct pdist might be, let's say, 20, and then the processor, for example, becomes faster, but the memory doesn't, and now the processor does more iterations while the memory is responding, so we need to increase the distance. So basically, kind of coding this pdist into the program becomes tricky because the correct value for it, so it's not too small or too large, changes as hardware changes. So prefetch instructions are very useful, but they're not easy to get right.